What's up, Red Wings fans? Welcome inside Little Caesars Arena for another edition of the Forecheck. I'm Daniella Bruce, and as always, I'm alongside Ken Kal today, your Red Wings radio play-by-play announcer. Ken, we're at the 8th game between these two teams, the 8th meeting between Nashville and Detroit, and the final meeting of the season. It's the first series that we've completed, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's something about the Nashville Predators that kind of give the Red Wings fits lately. And they've posted a couple shutouts against the Red Wings and had an overtime victory, or actually a shootout victory the last game. So the Red Wings want to come back, bounce back, and have a good win here today.
The good news is the Red Wings have been really good in the second game of these two-game series. They've been really great at the bounce-back game. So I'm expecting a really tough effort out of our Red Wings tonight, Ken. And we did get some good news out of morning skate that Sam Gagner and Jonathan Bernier are good to go and should be in the lineup for tonight. So that's interesting. It will be interesting to see who starts in net, Jonathan Bernier or Thomas Greiss, who's been hot.
Well, it was good to have Bernier back and skating with the team, and of course we all know how great he played. And his last game before he was injured, he played like 22 minutes and was posting a shutout, then had to leave with a lower body injury. But with that said, Thomas Greiss has been terrific. Yeah. I looked at his last 5 games, Daniella, and that save percentage is at .940, which is outstanding. And he's just been keeping the Red Wings in the game and just playing terrific goal for Detroit.
Bobby Ryan and Patrick Nemeth will both be out tonight as well, so we'll expect to see almost the same lineup that we saw on Tuesday night.
We'll have a couple of changes in there, and I think Sam Gagner is going to be in the lineup today, so that's good for him. He's missed the last 4 or 5 games due to injury. But for the most part, the Red Wings are pretty much healthy, and I really liked the game the last game. I thought both teams were very competitive. I thought the Red Wings played hard, got some big goals in the game, had the lead for the most part, but in the end just couldn't get that extra point.
And we saw Tyler Bertuzzi at morning skate today, too. I don't expect to see him in the lineup anytime soon, but it's great to see him back out on the ice. That means he's progressing, at least.
I really hope that he gets a chance towards the end of the season to get healthy and at least play a handful of games. And when you think about it, Daniella, the season's winding down. It's going to be over in the blink of an eye. I think the Red Wings only have 14 more games left after this one tonight against Nashville. So, I'm sure he wants to practice, get back in there. And, this is a tough year for Tyler Bertuzzi because it is a contract year for him. And, he's just injured, and, hopefully he can make the best of it next year.
Definitely. It would be nice to see him at the end of the season, but we'll just see how he progresses. It's good that he's skating, though. That is definitely a good sign. Ken, you mentioned the Red Wings shootout loss on Tuesday. It was a really tough, hard-fought game by the Red Wings, so let's take a look back at that before we look ahead to tonight. Obviously, we'll pick things up in the first period, and here's a goal from the Red Wings. It was credited to Danny DeKeyser, but there was some question if Adam Erne did deflect this into the net. I thought it was Adam Erne at first, but it could have been off Ekholm. Either way, Danny DeKeyser throwing the puck at the net, and it's in the back of the net.
Did Paul Woods call you about that, or Kenny Daniels?
Ken Daniels gave me a call about that one.
No, went enough at Ekholm. No.
Yeah, he's got the view. He must have the good view over there.
But Danielle, what's important about this is the positioning of Adam Erne in front. And this goal doesn't happen if he's not where he should be in front of the net, and he causes havoc. And as a result, the puck goes in off a body and into the net, and that was Ekholm's body.
And that fourth line has just been great. Luke Glendening really made that play happen, too. We didn't get to see the full thing develop, but Luke Glendening with a great play. Now we'll jump to the third period. After a scoreless second, the Red Wings still have the 1-0 lead. And here's Nashville on the rush. The Red Wings with a bad change, and it's Luke Cunning, 1-1.
Yeah, that was a bad change right there for Detroit. And just prior to that, the Wings iced the puck and tried to make the change, get the tired players off. But what about Roman Josi? What a pass from him to Luke Cunning, and he just fired it home. Good shot by him, and that was a big goal for the Nashville Predators getting back into the game.
We're still in the third period here, and it may have been questionable if Adam Erne got that first goal, but there was no question that he was credited with the second goal. He buries a nice rebound in front of the net.
Yeah, and he's been on fire of late for Detroit. Look at that. Finds the opening, squirts the backhand home, and he's got 9 goals on the season. He's one away from tying the team lead with Robbie Fabry and Anthony Mantha, but he's just been hot as a firecracker, and that's good to see.
The team lead, and it's a career high for him, so great to see Adam Erne finding the back of the net the way he is. He's definitely been hot, but that wouldn't be enough for the Red Wings. They would take a questionable penalty at the end of the third period, and here's Michael Granlund on the power play, just 16 seconds in, Ken.
Yeah, when it rains, it pours for the Red Wings this year, and I really thought that it was kind of a weak call. And Mark Stahl, when you see a veteran really that late in the game going up to the referee and questioning it, these guys have been around a long time. They know all the tricks, but, you kind of wonder about that call. But nevertheless, they capitalized and tied up the hockey game.
Yes, they did, and scoreless overtime, which means we're headed to a shootout. Ryan Johansson would score for the Preds, and here's Roman Josi with the game-winning shootout attempt. He had 2 assists, and then he buries this to win the game.
I thought he was skating all the way on Woodward Avenue.
Yeah.
He went all the way to the left side boards and then came in and What a hockey player he is. He played 29 minutes and change. He was out there almost every other shift in that hockey game, and they needed that extra point because they're in a battle with Chicago for that final playoff spot. But he had 2 assists in the hockey game. He actually hit 3 goal posts, and on one shot he hit both goal posts, the right and the left. He's just an amazing guy, and how he gets open, especially in overtime, where, he put defenders out towards the left, and he skates right in the middle of the ice and has scoring chances. He's just an outstanding player, and when you watch him play, as people do see him play live, you know why he's a Norris Trophy winner. He's just an outstanding defenseman, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, aside from Philip Forsberg, who is out of the lineup for the Preds, Roman Josi is the team leader in points. He has 24 points on the season. So, yes, he's definitely dangerous. He's an assist guy. He's got 20 assists. So definitely look out for him as the setup man. And after that game, you could sense the frustration coming from Coach Blashill and Dylan Larkin. So let's check in with Dylan Larkin and see what he had to say about that game and the upcoming game tonight.
We're in a game tonight, though, and we're down. We're up 2-1, and then we lose. We find a way to lose, and at some point here, it's got to turn, and it's got to start seeing results, and we know we can beat this team on Thursday, and we got to come out and do it.
As I mentioned, Ken, you can definitely sense the frustration in Dylan Larkin's voice there, and he said that he knows that they're capable of winning this game, and they just have to come out and do it tonight.
Well, what's important for the Red Wings is that they did pick up the point. Yes. And, as the learning process moves on and on and on, that's what it's all about. Next year, you just have to stay away from those regulation losses, and the good teams find ways to get points each and every night if they can. And if it takes a overtime loss, well, you still get a point, but it's those regulation losses that'll kill you throughout the course of the season. And this year, you lose 20 games in regulation, you're out of the playoffs. The Red Wings aren't going to make the playoffs. But with that said, this is a good learning experience. And I know Larkin and the team was frustrated. Jeff Blashill was frustrated about it. But in the end, I look at it, it was an exciting game for the fans, and the Red Wings did pick up a point.
Yeah, and who's definitely hungry for points is the Nashville Predators. They sit in that 4th spot in the Central Division right now. So they're in a playoff spot. But again, it's a battle for that 4th spot. There's a few different teams that could end up there. So Nashville really needs to pick up 2 points. They're going to come out flying.
Yeah, the Blackhawks are knocking on the door right there. And it's funny how they're winning hockey games left and right, and Chicago's still hanging in there. Something about that Blackhawk team, they just won't quit. And then you look at the Dallas Stars, and they've been having some issues early in the year with the COVID situation, and then canceled games due to weather down there in Dallas. But they've got some games to make up, some games in hand. And if they go on a run, look out. And if they get healthy, they can maybe catch the Nashville Predators.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Not only is the Central Division a battle for that first place spot, but it's a battle for that last position too. So it's definitely going to be interesting as we approach the end of the season. Ken, the Nashville Predators announced today that Victor Arvidsson and Luke Kunin will both be available for tonight's game. We saw Victor Arvidsson, he didn't play at all on Tuesday, but Luke Kunin with a pretty brutal looking injury to his ear that he went out with, but he will be back. So I guess that's good for Nashville, but that's 2 more players that the Red Wings are definitely going to have to be aware of tonight.
Kunin, 6 points in his last 6 hockey games. As you mentioned, he took that puck off the ear. It was his own teammate, Matt Benning, who shot the puck that hit him in the ear, and I would imagine he needed some major stitches right there to put that thing together. But, Luke Kunin is a guy that scored in his last 2 hockey games. Got to keep an eye out for him. It seems like he has the hot hand. And Victor Arvidsson, he's a dangerous player when he's in the offensive zone. I thought the Red Wings may have gotten a break in that last game when he didn't play. Yeah. But if he's back in the lineup tonight, look out for him because he can make things happen.
Yeah, according to the Nashville Predators projected lines, he's going to slide onto the top line with Ellie Tolvanen and Ryan Johansson tonight. So that's definitely a threat. That Ellie Tolvanen would put together a 4-game point streak against the Red Wings. He didn't have a point in Tuesday's game, but aside from that, he's been really good against Detroit this season.
21 years old, and he's one of the young guns in the National Hockey League, Tolvanen, and I expect a good game from him. As you mentioned, he's been putting together some streaks lately as far as getting points, and another player that's a young, up-and-coming, pretty good hockey player in the National Hockey League.
Mm-hmm. And we mentioned goaltending earlier in the show, talking about the battle between Thomas Greiss and Jonathan Bernier. Who will we see in net tonight since Bernier is now available again? There's also a battle in Nashville as well. You've got UC Saros and Pekka Rinne, and I guess battle might not be the right word, but they have 2 solid goaltenders, and we've seen UC Saros, who has now won his last 3 games against the Red Wings. So to me, that might be the obvious start, but hey, you can put Pekka Rinne in there at any time and get a successful game from him.
It's a little bit of a different situation for the Nashville Predators, Daniella, right now, because early in the season, when you looked at the Nashville Predators, both goaltenders at a point we're under 90% in their save percentage, and that's not good. But somehow over the last month or so, they have found a groove, especially since March 15th. They've been on a roll, and that goalkeeping is keeping them in the hockey game. Saros was really good in that game. I thought the Red Wings had some good scoring chances. He made some big saves, keeping the Red Wings off the board for the most part. And then when Pecorine, he's a veteran goaltender. He's been around a long time. He's 38 years old. He knows how to win. He's played over 600 games, and he's won a majority of them, 59 shutouts. So either one, if whoever starts, Saros or Rene, they've got some good goalkeeping, and usually they're rotating them, Daniela. But whoever they go with, that's what's been keeping them alive. And if you look at their goals against over their last 7 hockey games, they've only allowed 3 goals or more one time in those last 7 hockey games. So they're scoring goals, they're keeping the games close, but they're getting that solid goalkeeping, and other teams can't score.
Ken, before we wrap up today's show, this is the last show that we'll have before Monday's trade deadline. So there's a big weekend coming up for the Red Wings and the NHL as a whole. But so far, things have been pretty quiet, a couple of moves here and there. But what are you expecting to see? It's a strange year. We know that cap hits are different just because money is tight this season. So what are you expecting to see?
You know, that's a good question, and I really don't know what I'm expecting. I think prior to today, I was looking at maybe the Red Wings are going to make a bunch of moves. But, you know, with that said, and as you mentioned, the COVID situation, and up until lately when the fans have been coming into the arena, teams are stressed, they're strapped for money right now. And a lot of these teams that are, you know, trying to win a Stanley Cup are kind of, you know, cap handcuffed, and they don't have a lot of money, and they're going to have to get rid of some players to get some players. So I don't know. I think if the Red Wing fans are looking for Steve Yzerman to try and make a deal and get a number 1 or a number 2 draft pick out of some of the guys that might be available for trade, I think that's dreaming. That's not going to happen. So, you know, if there is the right situation for the Red Wings and they do make a deal, look for some draft choices, maybe perhaps in, you know, later round draft choices. But with that said, maybe things will change a little bit this year. And the expectations, I don't think, are very high right now, as far as you never know what's going to happen. But again, I don't know how many deals the Red Wings will make. But if they do make some deals, they're probably going to be minor deals.
Right, and then you start talking about the later round draft picks, and as you and I were talking about offline, it's kind of what are players worth? You don't want to give a player away just to do it. You know what I mean?
And that's a good point. And you look at a guy like Luke Glendening, there's several teams out there that really want his services. And, you know, the Red Wings can bargain, and they can, you know, say, hey, look, this guy leads the league in face-offs. He's a hardworking guy. He can play on the 4th line. He can play on the 1st line. And, you know, we expect a lot in return for him. But if the team doesn't give you enough in return, then you're better off just keeping them and signing them to a new contract next year.
Ken, the main goal for the Red Wings tonight is obviously to pull out a win against the Nashville Predators. And, you know, the rest of the season, they might get to play spoiler a little bit since they're not going to make the playoffs. So it starts with tonight, and obviously we'll keep everybody updated what goes on over the weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's edition of the Forecheck. We'll see you next time.